It was a cold November afternoon in 1970 when a father and his two young daughters were hiking through Isdalen, Norway's so-called Ice Valley, a place long whispered about in local folklore as the Valley of Death, for its grim history of suicides and strange accidents. But what they stumbled upon that day was more horrifying than any legend. Nestled among the blackened rocks, the smoldering remains of a woman's body lay hidden, partially charred, her face unrecognizable, her limbs contorted in unnatural positions. The flames had long since died out, but the mystery had only begun. Authorities quickly arrived on the scene. Surrounding the woman's body were an assortment of odd items: burned paper, a broken umbrella, a fur hat soaked in gasoline, and 2 empty bottles of liqueur. Most chilling of all was the lack of any clear identification. Labels had been meticulously removed from her clothing, and even the serial numbers on personal items had been scraped off. Someone had gone to great lengths to erase this woman's identity. As the autopsy report emerged, it revealed a mix of sedatives and sleeping pills in her bloodstream, enough to kill her. Her lungs were filled with soot, indicating she had still been alive as she burned. It raised an impossible question. Was this suicide, or something far darker? What followed was a tangled web of leads, dead ends, and disinformation. Police discovered several suitcases belonging to the woman at the train station in Bergen. Inside were wigs, disguises, a curious note filled with cryptic codes, and more clothing with the tags removed. Fingerprint analysis linked the suitcases to the body, but offered no identity. Then came an even stranger twist. The woman had traveled extensively across Europe using at least 8 fake passports and aliases. Witnesses described her as elegant, secretive, and always on the move. She spoke multiple languages: French, German, Flemish, and often claimed to be Belgian or South African. No one knew who she really was. The more investigators dug, the stranger things became. She had stayed at several hotels in Norway, always asking for a room with a balcony. She often switched rooms, changed her appearance, and used various names, none of them real. In one instance, she was overheard saying something about going to see a professor, but no details ever materialized. Some hotel staff recalled her being guarded, others said she seemed afraid. Then there was the coded note, which puzzled even seasoned cryptographers. It appeared to correspond to dates and locations of her travels, possibly a personal log, or something more clandestine. Was she a spy during the Cold War? A courier passing through Scandinavia on secret missions? The geopolitical climate of the time certainly didn't rule it out. Norway, though neutral, was strategically important during the Cold War, and Bergen, where she spent her final days, was near sensitive military installations. As rumors swirled, official statements remained vague. The Norwegian police, after months of investigation, abruptly ruled it a suicide. But the public wasn't convinced, and neither were several detectives involved in the case. One officer, decades later, claimed they were told to back off from sensitive leads. Another remembered mysterious men showing up during the early days of the investigation, asking strange questions and then disappearing. In the years that followed, the Isdal Woman faded into obscurity, but interest never completely died. In 2016, NRK, the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation, reopened the case in a groundbreaking investigative podcast. Working with forensic experts, historians, and intelligence veterans, they brought new life to the mystery. Modern isotopic analysis of her teeth suggested she likely grew up in Central or Eastern Europe, possibly Germany. Facial reconstruction was attempted, and DNA samples were extracted and entered into genealogical databases. In 2021, researchers revealed that she likely had Germanic ancestry, possibly with some French heritage. Yet even with all our modern tools, her name remains unknown. More than 5 decades later, the Isdal Woman continues to haunt Norway. She's a ghost with no origin, a woman whose life was erased with surgical precision, leaving only questions. Was she a Cold War operative silenced in a foreign land? A fugitive running from something or someone? Or was she, as the police once insisted, a troubled woman who chose an elaborate end? No one can say for certain, but one thing is clear: someone out there knows the truth, and they've kept it buried for over 50 years.